happy, happy, happy first day of Victober to you. It's just one of my most favorite days in the entire year. The new Victober glow is there and all of the excitement. I wanted this video to go up the first day of Victober because I have just lots of different ways that I have now expanded on Victober and just made it feel more festive. And I love, it's basically just like a bookish holiday. That is, we don't have those on the calendar. And so this is now, Victober is just celebration of all things bookish, and it's wonderful. So if you are new to my channel, I have had a series that I have been doing where I speak with a different friend and they tell me a list of 10 cozy things that they love. So this is kind of a Victober edition where I am telling you the cozy things, and I went a little nuts. I have 24 cozy things to tell you about. So maybe get a cup of tea or cocoa, sit and relax, and we will hang out together while I tell you about the cozy things. Also, the first day of October is going to be really fun because throughout the course of the month on my Patreon, I'm running different events to celebrate Victober. It is basically like Christmas on my Patreon because it's just the most fun that I have all year being a part of the online book community. And on this first day, I went a little crazy and we're doing two things in the afternoon, and then it will be evening for UK people and Europeans. We are doing a guess the first line of the Victorian novel, or guess, which novel the first line comes from. And it will be in video format for you later. So I'm doing it as a game for patrons, but I have filmed a video of it. And so you will have a game of guessing the first Victorian line. And then in the evening, we're going to do a watch along of an episode of the Jeremy Brett Sherlock series. So it's going to be a very fun day. And then always on the first day, I make coq au vin. And it is this luscious French dish. It's very decadent, where you just stew a bunch of chicken and mushrooms in red wine. You marinate them first for a day, and then it's so good. And then you add a bunch of bacon. And it's very, very delicious. I am looking forward to that. And then also for dessert, I found this recipe for some chocolate chip oatmeal cookies. And I like to, if I can find recipes that are gluten-free, but they have to be good, then I'll make them a lot. And I found these oat flour chocolate chip cookies that are so, so good. And I'm really looking forward to making those. And I make them with dark chocolate chips, and it's going to be a great time. Then also a tradition that is now, it's just been sealed, like it has to happen with Victober, is I get some autumnal scented Yankee candles. I don't really crave scented candles the rest of the year. I like having all through the winter. We do winter and fall. Once it starts to get dark, we do candlelit suppers, and I love that. And it just makes winter and less daylight feel a lot more cozy, and the dinner table to be in an inviting place. And I have so we do some of the like big chunky pillar candles, and then we also do some of the just the candlesticks, and it looks just such an inviting dinner table. So I'm sure with our coq au vin we will have candlelit dinner, and it's going to be lovely. Hopefully I'll be vlogging, and so you can see some of this happening. And then I didn't do last year, it was very sad, I didn't do any bookish baths. And I don't know what happened. I think I just felt like it was too much of an ordeal to set up. Also, I didn't have any like autumnal scented bath bombs. I did make a bath tea, and I liked those, but I really like having like special scents just for Victober. So I saw these at Target. So I will show you, I always, with my bookish baths, the key components are to have atmospheric music on, something yummy to drink, obviously some form of Victorian literature, and candles galore. And I love to read by candlelight. So I have a lot of candles lit by the bathtub. although I haven't done a book bath since we moved in this new bathtub. And I do like that this bathtub is sloped at the back, so it's a lot more comfortable to sit in for a long period of time. But the shape is different, so I don't know if I can fit as many candles on the inside of the tub. There were kind of corners before where I could wedge candles. Either way, I'm going to make it happen. And I will show you the bath bombs. So these, like I said, we're at Target. And so I have 4 different scents, apple and cinnamon bark. And then I have coconut and warm vanilla. I love the gold in this. Pumpkin and tonka. And cranberry and orange flower. Now, I in the past have just declared Saturday is my book bath day. So maybe I will just stick to Saturdays being book baths. Although now I'm thinking out loud, the first day of Victober is Saturday. So maybe it will be Friday nights that I will do it. I'm not sure. I'll just have to rethink that. But it will be once a week. And then I will show you the Yankee candles that I got. So 2 scents that I don't think I have gotten these ones before. And it's so funny. This one that I got on a whim ends up being my husband's favorite. So this is Harvest. And this really, good grief. Oh, smells heavily of cinnamon, and that's what my husband really liked. He liked how cinnamon heavy it was. I think because I saw the corn on it, I thought it was going to be like a candy corn scent, and I cannot stand, I don't like pumpkin scents, and I don't like any candy scents. It's just so sickeningly sweet and overwhelming. And then the other one, I feel like this is similar to, there was one a few years ago called Autumn in the Park. I don't even know if they're carrying that anymore, but I loved how fresh and crisp it was. And so this one is Autumn Leaves. And it is just so fresh, crisp, bright. Not kind of my typical scent that I get, but I like having one like that, so for some variety. I know some people also, they'll burn multiple scents at once. I've never done that. Maybe I'll try it this year. I'm not sure how I feel about it though. And then the next one, I get this one every year. I am so in love with it, and it is Sugared Cinnamon Apple. I mean, it just smells like amazing things baking in your house. So I love that one. And I will say Yankee Candle, these candles are kind of expensive, but they do really great coupons. So if you wanted, but you thought, I don't know if I could swing that, try to see if you could do it with a couple coupons, and they're very generous with handing out the coupons because they want people to buy their candles. And then the last one, and I think this one is my favorite. This is only, I think, the 3rd year that this one has been out, and I hope it stays forever, and it is Ciderhouse. And it just has like apple and cranberry and spices, cloves, cinnamon, nutmeg in there. And it just is Victober in a candle. So they say that kind of the memories that have the strongest pull on you are ones attached to scent. So now I'm just thinking Victober is just locked into my memory forever because of associating it with those scents. I also love during Victober to have tons of yummy things to eat and yummy beverages. So like I said, the first meal that we're doing. And then I'm also very excited. I have fallen in love with making different fruit crisps. I made a cherry crisp on the first day of school for the boys, and it was just out of this world. And I didn't do anything amazing. I just followed a recipe. And I did whip some cream to have with it. I know some people like to do ice cream, but I really love whipped cream. So cherries are kind of expensive though. So that was a very special treat. I am going to be doing a lot of apple crisp in the month of October, and I am over the moon about that. So I know that the second weekend, so the first full weekend of Victober, we're having some friends over for dinner, and I am really looking forward to having apple crisp be a dessert that we eat all together around the table. And so the other hot beverages, I love hot chocolate, and I am very diehard fan of this recipe made by, it's a Martha Stewart hot chocolate recipe where you make a big batch of hot cocoa mix. And so then you store it in a mason jar, and you can just come and grab a couple spoonfuls for a mug of cocoa. And I'm really pleased that since I can't really do much dairy, I can do a little bit. So like the whipped cream, I can take like a lactase, and that will help with it. But just drinking a whole thing of milk, that's asking a lot of my body. So I'm really happy that non-dairy cocoa can still be so delicious. So I like it with either coconut milk or almond milk. I like both. And I just heard about this new milk made by Silk. I don't know how new it is, but it's called Next Milk, and it's supposed to taste very, very similar to cow's milk. So I am going to pick some of that up and try it. I would love if it could make even creamier cocoa. And then I met Emma from the Bookish Princess for tea. It was the nicest time. It had been several years since we had seen each other, and it was just such a lovely time. So I will link her September reading vlog if you wanted to see a couple clips of that. What was I going to say? Oh yes. So while there, because of dietary issues, like I can't have much acidic food. So unfortunately, black teas are acidic. And I had completely forgotten about Rooibos tea, and I liked it when I had had it before. So I got Rooibos tea when I was there, and it was so good. It was a vanilla Rooibos, and so I ordered a big thing of Fireside Vanilla Rooibos tea, and I did also get a strainer. So I'm planning on just making tons of pots of tea. I would love to while away an afternoon while just slowly drinking a pot of Rooibos tea. I maybe will knit a tea cozy, but I'm feeling a little lazy, so I don't know if I will in this time, to keep the tea hotter for longer. And I'm just so excited to drink tons and tons of Rooibos tea. I just had it with honey. I didn't have any cream. So maybe some almond milk is cream, but also Rooibos tea is very mild tasting, so I feel like cream might kind of overwhelm it. So maybe just a little splash. I'm not sure. But I do have a teapot, so I'm very excited for this. And then another element that is just all the cozy things to me is this blanket that I knit a couple years ago. And I love it so much. I knit it over the course of, I think it was a March. And it was a knit along that I did with Natalie from Curious Reader. Or we did, maybe we still called it a knit along, but people did all sorts of different crafts. And we read The King's General by Daphne du Maurier, which is still a favorite book of mine now. So it was a very fun time to do that. But then also, things are warming up at that time of year. So then it's really nice for autumn to use this blanket a ton. I love it. Okay, then I did get a Victorian card game, which I don't know, how many people know it's Victorian, because I think in the UK it's a fairly ubiquitous card game. Happy Families. This is not as common in America. And I was actually speaking with a friend, telling her how I had gotten this. And she said, I heard that referenced in books and I thought it was a fake game. So it's funny sometimes as Americans, when you read British things, you're like, is this made up for a book or is it an actual thing? And from what I can gather of this, it is pretty much like Go Fish, but you're trying to match up the families. These illustrations though, so these are the original illustrations by Jacques Original Happy Family. And what is wild about these is that they did have them all in one factory, all of the illustrations, and then it was bombed. And during World War II, because it was still selling. And then eventually, though, they found there was a safe inside the factory that had all of the original illustrations. So they were able to save it. And this game is still being made, obviously, because I bought it. But these illustrations are so wild. So Master Bun, the baker's son. Mrs. Bun, the baker's wife. Mr. Potts, the painter. So all kind of like punny names. Who is this? Mrs. Block, the barber's wife. And these illustrations are so funny to me. Master Tape, the tailor's son. So yeah, kind of grotesque illustrations, but I love them. They also made me think kind of Edward Gorey. Very much looking forward to playing this with my family. And I think it's basically like Go Fish is what I gather. All the instructions are in there, so hopefully we'll be able to figure it out. So I thought it'd be fun. Another way to kind of expand on Victober is play some Victorian games. All right, the next thing I want to talk about. So I really, really love Halloween. I think it's so fun. I like cute, spooky. I don't like really kind of gory or violent things, but cute, spooky, that's like my comfort zone. And so it's really fun to just expand on that. So I have made a vintage Halloween playlist. So songs like the Monster Mash, the Haunted Mansion soundtrack, those things. And I will link it down below. It's on Spotify if you use Spotify. If not, you could just take a look at the songs and make like a YouTube playlist of it. And I'm very excited about this playlist it's going to be on. And kind of like Boo to You at Disney, those are like the vibes that I love to go for with celebrating Halloween. And I'm so excited to have that on, particularly as we get closer to the month of Halloween, to the holiday of Halloween. Um, then also, I'm looking forward to taking moonlit walks. I think something that has made me appreciate fall and winter even more is taking moonlit walks. I think the moon is something that it's a light that we take for granted. And so last winter I went on many moonlit walks and I fell in love with it. And what is even more fun is to listen to a Victorian audiobook while taking a moonlit walk. So I took a few walks last year while listening to Wuthering Heights, which is very appropriate. So maybe this year, Jane Eyre I'll do, or I do have a couple, I'm trying to think of some of the atmospheric ones that could be cool to listen to while on a moonlit walk. But either way, I'm excited about it and it's going to be so much fun. So also, like I said, I'm very excited about audiobooks. Those are really nice when I'm driving somewhere or I'm doing a household task, but I still want to be consuming Victorian literature. I love audiobooks and they do count as reading. They definitely do. And then two more Victober playlists for you if you like to kind of go all out. And this is another way that I love when maybe I'm doing school with my boys or just can't be listening to an audiobook focusing on that. I have two music playlists. And the first I call the Victober Slice of Life playlist. So if you're reading kind of domestic realism or something comedic, this Slice of Life playlist is fun. It's all from Victorian period dramas. And so kind of just moving but lighthearted music. And then I also have an atmospheric playlist. So when you're reading something darker or chilling or haunting, this playlist could be really fun to have on in the background if you like those. Then I am just excited for all the Victober content. I am excited for you to see what I have made for you and putting it up. But I am also so excited to see what others have made. And I am always just so delighted by the content that is put up and the creativity that is out there for Victober. And then I am excited to watch many Victorian period dramas. This is a lot that I tried to fit into a month, so I don't know how many I will manage to watch, but I do know that definitely on the last day of September, I always watch the Young Sherlock Holmes. That has become a tradition now, the night before Victober, aka Victober Eve, and it's so much fun to do that. So I do have a couple videos coming out about kind of my favorite Victorian period dramas and then also the ones I'm hoping to watch over this month. So those will be out later this month. And then I am really excited, like I said, for the events happening on my Patreon. Just some shameless self-promotion here, but I think it's because it's really stuff that you would enjoy if you like Victober and would like a little bit more. You could always just join for October to take place in the events and then not take part in any months after that. There's no pressure here. This is just like bonus Victober content if you want it. We're going to read aloud The Importance of Being Earnest. We are also going to have a talk from one of the patrons, Teresa, who is going to talk about Egyptomania and the Victorians, just their obsession with ancient Egypt. She is getting her PhD in ancient Egyptian studies, and I'm so excited to hear her speak about it. We're also doing a online murder mystery party, and it's just going to be, all of these things are going to be a lot of fun and a bunch more events. So just wanted to put that out there. Then, just like I said, more Halloween things. So watching several things with my boys, they're now kind of staples through the month. So obviously it's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. We watch that one. We definitely do. And that one I think could be fun after you go pumpkin picking. And we're definitely going to go pick out pumpkins. And my husband, I'm really relieved, has agreed to carve the pumpkins. It is a lot of work to carve pumpkins, and I didn't enjoy it as much as I thought I would. I like to go pick out the pumpkins because it feels festive, but he's going to execute the carving. So maybe that day we'll watch The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. And then also Room on the Broom, and now with that intertwined has become a tradition of eating caramel apples while we watch the movie of Room on the Broom. It is such a sweet movie. I think it's maybe a half hour. It's very short. And then also last year I found at the thrift store and was so excited, Wallace and Gromit and the Curse of the Were-Rabbit. And it is, if you like the Wallace and Gromit movies, it is everything you could hope that it would be. It's so much fun. And I love it so much. So I had never watched it. I had always wanted to, but just hadn't made an effort. And so I was so excited. It really did live up to my expectations. Then also last year we watched some episodes of the original The Addams Family and the Munsters, and that was so much fun. Like I said, just like good spooky vibes. And we watched those on Halloween. And it was really, really fun. And I think we'll do those on Halloween again this year. I was thinking of maybe we'd watch the second Harry Potter film, but I don't think Peter will be finished reading the second book by that time. And then I am excited to watch, I've heard it's maybe a little bit too creepy for younger audiences, the newest rendition of Scooby-Doo. It's Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated, and it's supposed to be so much fun, but a little bit creepy, so perfect amount creepy for me. Then also I am planning on watching with my boys, it's very educational, Victorian Farm, the documentary that Ruth Goodman and then several other historians take part in, where they run a farm from the Victorian era using only Victorian technology over the course of a year. And it's super fun. And I just love the interpersonal feel of it. Really knowing what the daily lives of Victorians running a farm would have been like. And then a podcast to recommend. I did post briefly about this in stories, but I want to sing its praises here. And it is called My Love Letter Time Machine, a real life Victorian drama. This is such a special podcast. The host's great-great-grandparents have, I think she said, it's hundreds of letters that they have, and you get to follow their love story. So she tells you about their lives. She gives you interesting tidbits of information about the Victorian era, topics that come up in the letters, and then she reads you the letters aloud. And you come to really love these people that have written these letters. And also I love that it shows you just that human connection is timeless and how we're more closely linked than we all realize. And it's the production quality is so high, and I cannot recommend it enough. So I'm very excited about that podcast. And I will of course link that down below. And yes, just such a high quality podcast that I was so excited to stumble on. There are new episodes still being made because she has so many letters to get through. And highly recommend you check it out. And so that would be fun listening during Victober. And then also got to talk more about ASMR rooms. I love these rooms that have sound effects and then beautiful images. You can feel even more like you're right in the Victorian era. So I am just dreaming about having a lazy afternoon with a pot of tea and reading a Victorian novel while having an Victorian ambiance on in the background. And a Yankee candle lit. It's going to be a great time. Then I am also excited to do some reading out on, we have a screened in porch. It has been in a couple videos. And I got a reclining chair. So it's really nice on fatigue days to be able to be outside, but not get tired out from sitting upright. When it is a fatigue day, sitting upright is very, very tiring. So I love having the reclining chair, and it's really, really nice. And then lastly, I am very excited on actual Halloween. I already have my reading planned out. It's going to be less happening because I'll be doing more with the boys. But the two things that I am very excited to read are, firstly, I'm finally going to read The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. I have never read it, and that I know is written by an American, but I want to read it on Halloween. And then, written by a Brit, is The Canterville Ghost by Oscar Wilde. It is a little short story. Let's see how many pages it is. It looks like it is 45 pages. And so very easy to read, in a short time period. And it is delightful. I would love, honestly, for it to be a Halloween tradition. So hopefully it will just become a Halloween tradition. And I love how it's hilarious. Oscar Wilde does funny very, very well. And then also to wind down the day at the end of Halloween, I'm going to be watching the adaptation of Agatha Christie's Halloween Party, the David Suchet one that he stars as Poirot. And I love that it starts as a Halloween party. And so it just feels very spooky and festive, and I love it. So can you tell I am excited for this month? I can't believe all of the fun we're going to have together. Please comment down below with the ways that you like to make Victober feel more festive, and it's going to be a wonderful month. And whether you read one thing or 10, it does not matter, as long as you're having fun and you make some wonderful Victober memories. Thank you for watching, and I will be back with many videos this month. Bye.